Does time really exist? What do you think about that? What is time? आज का वीडियो जो होने वाला है उसका टाइटल है Does time really exist? And what do you think about it? नमस्कारम एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। स्वागत करता हूं आप सबका अपने इस चैनल में जिसका नाम है अमगज। आशा करता हूं कि आप लोग कुशल मंगल होंगे और हमारे तो नाम में ही मंगल है प्रभु। एक और नया दिन, नया वीडियो और नया एपिसोड। आज का और ज़्यादा खास एपिसोड हो जाता है क्योंकि ये है टाइम, समय के बारे में। और ये जो वीडियो है ना, ये टेड एड से लिया गया है। जो चैनल है टेड एड, और जिसने बनाया है उस बंदे का नाम या जिसके थ्रू है उसका नाम है एंड्रयू जिमरमैन जोन्स, और उसका टाइटल है डज टाइम एग्जिस्ट। मुझे तो एज फार एज, चलो वीडियो के पहले मैं बात नहीं करूँगा ज़्यादा, हम वीडियो के बाद में बात करेंगे। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। अगर बाई चांस आप इस चैनल में नए हैं देन प्लीज़ हिट द सब्सक्रिप्शन बटन एंड हिट द बेल आइकन। इसी के साथ हम शुरू करते हैं अपना नया वीडियो।
The earliest time measurements were observations of cycles of the natural world, using patterns of changes from day to night and season to season to build calendars. More precise timekeeping, like sundials and mechanical clocks, eventually came along to put time in more convenient boxes. But what exactly is it that we're measuring? Is time something that physically exists? Or is it just in our heads? At first, the answer seems obvious. Of course time exists. It constantly unfolds all around us, and it's hard to imagine the universe without it. But our understanding of time started getting complicated thanks to Einstein. His theory of relativity tells us that time passes for everyone, but doesn't always pass at the same rate for people in different situations, like those traveling close to the speed of light, or orbiting a supermassive black hole. Einstein resolved the malleability of time by combining it with space to define space-time, which can bend but behaves in consistent, predictable ways. Einstein's theory seemed to confirm that time is woven into the very fabric of the universe. But there's a big question it didn't fully resolve. Why is it we can move through space in any direction, but through time in only one? No matter what we do, the past is always stubbornly behind us. This is called the arrow of time. When a drop of food coloring is dropped into a glass of water, we instinctively know that the coloring will drift out from the drop, eventually filling the glass. Imagine watching the opposite happen. Here, we'd recognize time as unfolding backwards. We live in a universe where the food coloring spreads out in the water, not a universe where it collects together. In physics, this is described by the second law of thermodynamics, which says that systems will gain disorder or entropy over time. Systems in our universe move from order to disorder, and it is that property of the universe that defines the direction of time's arrow. So, if time is such a fundamental property, it should be in our most fundamental equations describing the universe, right? We currently have two sets of equations that govern physics. General relativity describes the behavior of very large things, while quantum physics explains the very small. One of the biggest goals in theoretical physics over the last half-century has been reconciling the two into one fundamental theory of everything. There have been many attempts, none yet proven, and they treat time in different ways. Oddly enough, one contender called the Wheeler-DeWitt equation doesn't include time at all. Like all current theories of everything, that equation is speculative. But as a thought experiment, if it or a similarly time-starved equation turned out to be true, would that mean that time doesn't exist at the most fundamental level? Could time just be some sort of illusion generated by the limitations of the way we perceive the universe? We don't yet know, but maybe that's the wrong way of thinking about it. Instead of asking if time exists as a fundamental property, maybe it could exist as an emergent one. Emergent properties are things that don't exist in individual pieces of a system, but do exist for the system as a whole. Each individual water molecule doesn't have a tide, but the whole ocean does. A movie creates change through time by using a series of still images that appear to have a fluid, continuous change between them. Flipping through the images fast enough, our brains perceive the passage of time from the sequence of still images. No individual frame of the movie changes or contains the passage of time, but it's a property that comes out of how the pieces are strung together. The movement is real, yet also an illusion. Could the physics of time somehow be a similar illusion? Physicists are still exploring these and other questions, so we're far from a complete explanation, at least for the moment. If time does exist, you'll probably want a brief history of it. Explore more of the fundamental questions of our existence by downloading a free audio version of Stephen Hawking's modern classic.
क्या समझ में आया? ईमानदारी से बताओ क्या समझ में आया? मुझे तो मेरे हिसाब से तो जो है, I mean, जो है पर नहीं है. Time is that. It is there but it's not there. It's an illusion, you know. और हर किसी के लिए सेम नहीं है. It's not like a sun or moon or earth जो सबके लिए है. Time is हर किसी के लिए डिफरेंट है या किसी के लिए नहीं है. लाइक अब जो फॉर एग्जाम्पल जो टाइम मेरे लिए है वो तुम्हारे लिए नहीं है. यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? या ब्रूनो के लिए नहीं है, यू नो, या उसके लिए है जो है मेरे लिए नहीं. और वही चीज़ होगी टाइम की स्पीड भी. जो टाइम की स्पीड मेरे लिए है वो हो सकता है कि आपके लिए ना हो, या जो आपके लिए वो मेरे लिए ना हो. सो टाइम इज इट दैट इज़ वाई इट्स विद इन, इट्स इंटरनल, यू नो, जैसा कि वीडियो में बोला भी उसने. सो इट्स अमेजिंग यार, इट्स अमेजिंग. Or you could say you don't know. That's the best thing. Like there is a lot of big scientists still don't know. There's still theories and things are coming up. But let's see whatever it is. But yogis ने इस चीज़ को describe कर दिया है. Timeless जो time होता है ना, वो इंसान अपने आप को खुद बांधता है time में. ठीक है ना? And that is why we say Adi Yogi. He is timeless. He is beyond time. He's beyond time. Imagine, a beyond time means a person who's not bounded by time, who's not limited by time. Like we all are limited. We have to wake up this time, we have to do this, we have to do that, da. So we are bounded by time, you know, boundary. And Adi Yogi, and that is why yogis does, they free themselves from time or any boundaries. So that is what it happens for them. Nothing matters. So that is why. It's like a timeless situation, you know. Wow, क्या बात बोल दी. I mean, imagine अगर आप किसी चीज़ की जल्दी में नहीं हो, आपको कुछ नहीं करना है और आपको पता है you just have to live the life. Then does time matter to you? No, because you are just enjoying every single moment of your life. वहीं अगर आप बंधे हो, आपको कहीं पहुंचना है, कुछ चीज़ करनी है, and you already planned something in your head, then time matter. Then every single second matter. Then you'll see, watch, 1 मिनट हो गया मेरे को यहाँ जाना है, 1 मिनट हो गया मेरे को वहाँ जाना है, you know. So that is the only difference. ये मुझे समझ में आया. आपको क्या समझ में आया वो कमेंट सेक्शन में प्लीज़ डालो, ताकि मैं भी समझ सकूँ कि आप क्या समझ रहे हो. तो बस यही था आज का वीडियो. उम्मीद करता हूँ आपको पसंद आया होगा. अगर पसंद आया तो अपनी फैमिली, फ्रेंड्स और जितने ज़्यादा लोगों के साथ शेयर कर सकते हो शेयर करो यार. मैं पर्पसली ये वीडियो बना रहा हूँ ताकि वी गेट सम गुड नॉलेज अबाउट लाइफ, यू नो. सो इसी के साथ मैं लेता हूँ आप लोगों से विदा. सो माय फ्रेंड्स, यू डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू डू. जस्ट टेक केयर ऑफ योरसेल्फ, टेक केयर ऑफ योर फैमिली एंड टेक केयर ऑफ दिस प्लैनेट. नमस्कार.